Okay, in this video we're going to go over the disassembly of the Taurus PT92 AF handgun. AF just stands for alloy frame. It's one of the submodels of the series. This disassembly is going to be exceedingly similar, if not the exact same thing, for all the handguns in the Taurus and Beretta 92 and 99 series. Okay. First thing we do in handling any firearm, we check to make sure it's unloaded. Go ahead and depress the magazine release on the left side of the frame. Drop out the magazine. We can see it's empty. So go ahead and set that aside. We're going to go ahead and drop the safety lever. That allows us to rack the slide. Rack the slide, check to make sure that the chamber is empty. It is. The handgun's unloaded. We can go ahead and begin disassembling. First thing we'll do is we're going to go ahead and use the decocker lever to drop the hammer. That drops the hammer, and now that's not under tension from that spring. And the first thing we're going to do for removing any parts is we're going to take off the barrel and slide assembly. Now to do that, we need to rotate this little lever downward. To do that, if you notice you can't pull on it by itself, you need to depress this pin on the other side of the frame. By pushing in on this pin, that raises this pin outward here and allows us to turn this lever downward. So go ahead, once again, push this pin in. That crossbar lifts this pin up. Go ahead and turn this lever downward, rotating it, and that releases the tension on the barrel and slide assembly, and you can just slide those right off the front of the frame. Go ahead and set the frame assembly down for the moment. Now, for the recoil spring and the recoil spring guide, they're held in very lightly on a 45-degree angle metal ramp right there on the bottom of the locking block from the barrel. To release that, make sure you have your finger on it first. Go ahead and pull up slightly. The spring will kick out, and you can go ahead and remove the recoil spring and the guide. Now we just have the barrel and slide assembly. To go ahead and remove the barrel assembly, we're going to want to take this little retaining pin here and push that up into the cam block, and that'll lift the cam block slightly up. You can see it's protruding a lot farther from the slide now. Once you've done that, you can remove the entire barrel assembly from the bottom of the slide. This is about all you're going to need to do for field stripping and disassembling the slide. I wouldn't mess with any of the firing pin assembly unless you're exceedingly confident. You can change the sights if you want. It's a simple dovetail. Just take a punch and knock it out the side, and you can go ahead and replace it with adjustables or whatever. The front sight is actually fixed on this model. It's built into the frame, the slide. For the barrel, go ahead and clean the barrel out with swabs or Q-tips, whatever it is you want to use. You don't need to disassemble it any farther, but in case you want to take the locking block cam out, you can. Just go ahead and make sure that this pin is all the way as far down as it can be. Then go ahead and rotate the cam block so that it's as far out as it can be, and then it'll simply drop out. You won't need to disassemble anything else on here, but you may want to lubricate these little rails here. Use some gun oil or some graphite, and that'll help the cam block slide. One important place to lubricate is on the back of this cam block here. After you've shot the weapon for a large number of rounds, you can notice here the bluing's already starting to wear away on mine. That's a big friction point on here, as this rotates every time the barrel is sliding back and forth along the slide. And once again, just some gun oil, some dry graphite on there will fix that. For the lower frame assembly, you shouldn't have to do too much with this, especially for cleaning. There may be a little kickback and some gunpowder here along the feed ramp throat area. If so, just go ahead and swab that out, but there shouldn't be a lot of cleaning you need to do. I wouldn't mess with the trigger or the hammer assembly unless you're exceedingly confident in what you're doing. The grips can be replaced very simply just by these two screws right here. As you can see, these are actually aftermarket rubber grips. I've actually replaced the factory plastic panels with these slight rubber ones, but that makes no difference for the rest of the handling and assembly and disassembly of the handgun. And that is the disassembly and field stripping of a Taurus PT92 AF handgun.